sequence. Now, that chord pattern, some of you may recognize that from a particular song, or maybe a variety of songs too. Okay, now, if you saw the title of this video, we are going to discuss a fundamental chord pattern called the circle of fifths. It also goes by another name that you may not hear as much, but a diatonic sequence. So anyway, this chord pattern I just played, you may recognize it from the song Hey Joe from Jimi Hendrix, a classic song from his Are You Experienced album. It goes such as this. Okay, I purposely left those notes at the very end that I played out because that would have been a giveaway. But anyway, now what that is basically, the circle of fifths, what that means is you're playing the first chord, the next chord that you're going to play after the first chord is going to start 5 notes away from it. So this chord here, a C major chord, the second chord is a G. So C, if we go 5 notes away from it, C, D, E, F, G, that's a major scale pattern. So since we're on G, that's the root of the next chord we're doing. Or, so C, and since we're going in a circle of fifths, okay, we're going to go 5 notes from the G, which is going to be G, A, B, C, and D, G major scale pattern. So that's this one. So now the next one we're going to go to 5 notes from the D. So D, E, F sharp, G, A. So this, the A major chord. There. The last chord we ended on was the E, and as you've probably guessed, A, B, C sharp, D, E. So, okay, now that is using the circle of fifths pattern, not the entire circle of fifths pattern, just a portion of it. And a lot of songs, maybe all songs that do decide to use the circle of fifths or borrow from it, if you will, tend to only borrow a segment of the circle of fifths. And the further we get along with talking about this, you'll understand why. It basically would cause a problem if you try to use every single chord in the circle of fifths. And like I said, we'll talk about that later. So let's go through another example real quick. Okay, so if you don't know what that is, you need to crawl out from under the rock that you've been at for however many decades. That is from the bridge section of the song Here Comes the Sun from the Beatles. Okay, and as you can see, basically the same chords that were used in Hey Joe. So we had C, G, and then we go to D, we pause going to the main root form of D by hitting on it with F sharp, so it's an inversion of D. Then we go to the root form of D, down to A, and then to the E, then back to C. So we're only using a portion of the circle of fifths. So that's another example right there. And now we're going to do another example that uses the circle of fifths in a very different way than these first 2 examples. I could see it in your eyes, I could see it in your smile. You're all I ever wanted, and my arms are open wide. bear with me. So that right there is from the classic, and I really stress the word classic, song by the famous Lionel Richie. The song is called Hello, and that is the chorus section right there. Now, I did state that there is something significantly different about that chord pattern. It's going off the circle of fifths, but it's doing it in the opposite direction as the other two examples. So you notice we start on a D minor, then we go to a G major. Now, if you remember, it's the fifth above the note in the last two examples. So G, A, B, C, D. So we went the opposite direction. And then we went to the G major. Then we went C major down to F major. And the C is the fifth of F. And then we go up to the B flat major. And this is a little bit different, but it's totally fine. We went from the B flat, and then we go to a suspended E chord, change it into an E7 chord. And from that, we go five below that, if you will, to the A minor. And now, since we're going to go back, I only did half the chorus, we're going to go back to D minor again. We're 5 notes above the D from the A. So it's the circle of fifths, but going in the opposite direction. And with that, we're going to conclude this first video. So I'm going to do at least one more video that expands upon examples using the circle of fifths pattern. It's more common than you might think. And to conclude this video, I'm going to show you a graph of the circle of fifths and a list of the songs that I gave you examples for. So thank you for watching.